Hi folks, I'm Alex White, otherwise known as Uncle Al.
And I'm Catherine Knowlton, KFK. We are professors in the Department of Dairy Science at Virginia Tech, and we are here to talk cows. So Uncle Al, I hear that your lectures on economics and spreadsheets are getting really boring. Can't you do anything to spice them up?
Well, you know, KFK, I love talking finance and economics to my classes, but
Nerd alert!
I can't believe you just said that.
Yeah.
Well, I decided to give my students a little break from costs and returns and break-evens and spreadsheets. So yesterday in my class, I had 9 representatives from Farm Credit of Virginia's come in to talk to my students about the real world.
Cool.
You know what's really cool about this?
What's that?
2 of those 9 were alumni from the Dairy Science Department. That was really
Nice.
neat. 8 of the 9 were actually Hokies. That was really cool too. So we had a good time. They talked to our students about careers in ag lending. They talked about what the Farm Credit system does, what types of loans are available. And the really neat thing was, at the end of the class, they gave our students really good tips on how they can better prepare themselves for the working world. So I was really excited to get Farm Credit into my classroom. I love getting industry in classes because it helps students prepare for the real world and it helps them relate the material from class to actual situations. So we're really happy to have the Farm Credit folks come in. They're very strong supporters of Virginia Tech and the College of Agriculture. So we're really thankful to have them on our team. So KFK, what's on the horizon for the department? Anything neat going on this fall?
I'm glad you asked, Uncle Al. One thing we are really excited about is the showcase sale at Virginia Tech. This is a sale of 50 or 60 Holstein heifers. It's done right here on campus. The way it works is the students do everything. They have done all of the selections and the advertising and the catalog. The heifers arrive on campus about a week ahead of time, and the students wash them and fit them and train them to lead. We have Chris Hill coming in again to help with the auctioneering, and then the students work with alumni and friends to take bids.
Hey KFK, what if I can't be at the sale that day? Can I bid from online?
You absolutely can. Cowbuyer.com is our online bidding partner, and that's an alumni and one of our students work together for that, cowbuyer.com. This sale is a great experience. It's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. And in fact, you know what? Instead of me talking about the showcase sale, really we should hear from the students who are running it. This year's overall sale chair is Nikki Hardy. She's a junior in dairy science from Pennsylvania, and I have asked Nikki to call in on my new fancy smartphone that I got this summer. In fact, that's Nikki now. Hi, Nikki.
Hi, Dr. Knowlton. Hey, Dr. White. How are you?
Hey, Nikki, we're doing great. Thank you for calling. I wanted to talk to you about the showcase sale. You are the overall chair this year, and that's an awful lot of responsibility. What is it that you love so much about the showcase sale that made you willing to take that on?
One of my favorite parts of the showcase sale is everyone together in the barn. It's the fall right after we all get back, so we have all the new freshmen and everyone's back from their summers away from each other, and it's so exciting to get everyone there together. The week of the sale, we're all out in the barn all the time. There's always someone there, so it's a great time just to get back with the cows after being in class.
Another student carrying a lot of responsibility in the showcase sale is Ryan Zimmerman, a senior in dairy science, also from Pennsylvania. Ryan is in charge of selecting the consignments for the sale.
Oh wait, I think that's him calling in now on the busy phone. Hello, Ryan.
Hey, Dr. Knowlton. Hey, Dr. White. How are you all doing?
We're doing great, Ryan. Thanks for calling. I've got a question for you. You are a really busy guy. Between your classes and you work a job on campus, you work with Aaron Ray Tompkins on cowbuyer.com. I know you're super involved at AGR. You are president of the Dairy Club at Virginia Tech. So with all of that going on, why did you decide to get so involved in the showcase sale this year?
The reasons why I decided to become a part of the showcase sale was to fully understand what it takes to deal with different types of people within the dairy industry and how to deal with people in general in any type of job you get. When dealing with cattle sales, you're always trying to find new ways to adapt and interact with different folks who come from different backgrounds, whether it be showing, genomics, production, or any other focus for selling their animals. You have to find a way to work with them specifically and help them in order to get the most dollar for their cattle.
Well, KFK, you know, I feel kind of bad about helping out with the showcase sale. I mean, the students get so jazzed up about working with all these really good heifers that are going to be on the property, but I'm going to try and be sneaky and teach them some business management principles along the way.
Nerd alert.
Well, that being said, if you think about it, they'll be getting some experience in planning and trying to figure out the production calendar, what needs to be done when. We need to figure out who's responsible for who. Those are good principles to know. They'll be learning some labor management principles because, they need to delegate important tasks to whoever the appropriate person is. And as the sale comes on, the stress level is going to get up a little bit higher, so they'll start to learn how to handle people under different situations.
That's a big one.
Of course, we need to think about using how they use their money. So we look at the financial aspects of putting a budget together to figure out how much money it's going to take to put on the sale, and we need to look at cost control along the way. Another big aspect I want to get across to the students is communication. A big portion of this is going to be communicating with prospective consignors and buyers. They need to be able to market the sale to different areas, and they just need to be professional throughout. So this is something I get really excited about. Yeah, working with all these really cool heifers is a lot of fun, but if they can learn some business principles along the way, that's pretty cool in my book.
So, Uncle Al, milk prices sure have been lousy the last year or so. But I was reading in the Sudia Issues Monitoring Report that dairy imports to China are headed upward. I know you love talking about economic issues, so I thought I'd ask you, what does that mean for prices for U.S. dairy farmers?
Well, KFK, I'm glad you asked me that. Basically, we have three things going on. We have increased demand in China, so increased imports. We've got lower milk prices at the consumer level, so we're seeing increased demand for consumers, and we're seeing a slowdown in global production of milk. Let me throw a little econ at you. Okay,
Nerd alert.
She got me again. There's this little principle called supply and demand. And what we have here with China importing more milk, that's an increase in demand, which puts a little bit of upward price pressure on milk prices. Next, we have the lower milk prices at the consumer level. This increases the amount of milk that most U.S. consumers are going to be purchasing, increasing the demand. And finally, we have the slowdown in Europe. And finally, we have a slowdown in growth of milk production in Europe, and we have an actual decrease in both Australia and New Zealand. This leads to a smaller worldwide supply of milk, which again puts upward price pressure on milk prices. All of these signs are promising for U.S. milk producers.
So, to translate, what I hear you saying is more milk consumption in China, more milk consumption in the U.S. because of the lower supermarket prices, and less global milk supply. Those three things together may be good news for dairy farmers across the next year.
Nerd alert.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Talking Cows with Uncle Al and KFK. Be sure to join us next time when we're going to talk about why dairy science students are studying floral design. Also, we're going to preview the Regional Dairy Challenge contest, and we are going to start our Students in the Hallway segments, in which we ask our students random questions about cows.
Until then, be good to your cows, be kind to your neighbors, and remember, it doesn't have to make sense, but it ought to make dollars.
Go ahead.
Ow! It's like the old hee-haw.
I know, right? That's what I keep thinking.
Give the elbow.
Yeah, give the elbow.
Ow.